Welcome to lesson 9 on getting started with Unity. In this tutorial we're going to learn how to add our own images and objects into Unity. So one of the really neat things about Unity is that you can add your own objects, your own images or files that you've created from other programs. So you can add your own sound files, you can add your own videos, and you can add your own 3D objects, which is what we're going to add in today. So I've got here, used on Tinkercad, a little rowing boat that I've created. If you're not familiar how to use Tinkercad, there's lots of tutorials online, but it's really easy. So now I need to export this 3D object. And this is really good if you're going to be doing 3D printing, but also really good for Unity. So click on the OBJ file. I'll just show you that again. So click on export the OBJ file, not the STL, but the OBJ. And then that's gonna, I put a little folder in my computer. It's a zip file, which means that there's files sort of compressed within that file. So I need to open that up. And it's gonna have two files within it, this MTL file, which we don't need, we can ignore, and this OBJ file, which is the one that we do need. So I'm just gonna move that to one side for now. And I'm gonna go back to Unity. And I'm going to create a little folder where I want all my uploaded files to go. So in the Assets folder, under the Project window, I'm going to right click, then I press Create, and I want Folder. And it's created a new folder, and I'm going to rename that My Files. And there it is. So now I just need to add that object that I've just created, that OBJ file. So I need to find that window again, there it is. And I'm just going to drag that straight into that folder, and after a few seconds it will appear. And all I need to do is actually drag it straight from that folder into my world, and there it is. Now it's obviously way too big, but that's an easy fix. We can resize that, and we'll rotate it. And move it to where we want it to go. So I'm just going to put it kind of there. You can play around with this, make this work better. Rotate it a bit more. It's probably still too big though. Let's shrink it a bit more. Oops. You can play around with these things forever to get them in the right place, but that will do for now. So next, I want to add a texture to this. Let's just lift that up out of the ground though. I want to add a texture so that it's not plain and white. And that's really easy as well. So in the project menu, project window, under all materials here, it will show you all the textures that you've got in your world or you've got available to you. You just need to find one that kind of looks like what you're after. So I'm going to go for a wood, maybe a dark wood if we've got one. Yep, dark wood, perfect. And I'm just going to drag that straight onto my rowing boat and let go and wait a few seconds. There we have the object created from Tinkercad and imported into Unity. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to create a little signpost and put a skull and crossbones on it. So I've got this little blank signpost here. I may as well colour that in with the same dark wood that I used for the boat. But now I need to actually add an image to that. Now I just want an image on one side of it. I don't want that image to be wrapped all around the object like it would on a normal texture. So here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Game Objects, 3D Object, and I'm going to add just a plane, which if you remember from earlier is just like a piece of paper and it's just one-sided. So I'm going to shrink that down so it's just sitting about the same size as my signpost, give or take a bit, and then I need to rotate it so it sits nicely onto my signpost. Oops, there we go. Oops, tricky. There we go. Keep going. Still a bit big. And I'll just move it so it sits nicely on the front of that signpost. Again, you can spend a long time fiddling with this to make it sit in the right place, so I won't waste too much more time, just get it roughly where it needs to be. That'll do. It's not sitting exactly perfect, but for what we need, it'll do the job. Okay, so now I need to actually add the image onto that. So I need to go onto something like Google Images and find an image that I like, and I've already found one, so this will do. And I'm going to save that image as, and we'll call it skulls. Skull, that'll do. It seems to work better if it's a JPEG image, but you might have a different experience. Oh, I've already downloaded one. Replace it. Okay, same thing as before. Find the image, find the file, and then go to the My Files folder. Have it so that you can find both at the same time. So drag it from one window straight into Unity. And then once it's in Unity, all being well, you should just be able to drag that straight onto the image that you're after. And there it is. I just need to rotate that. There we go. Oops, you are fiddly. Okay. So, not perfect, but hopefully you get the idea. One thing that I should do, just to finish this off, if I walk down to this boat, you should see that because we haven't put a collider on it, I'll probably just walk straight through it. So let me show you what I mean. Here's my boat, here's my sign. Not too bad. No skull and crossbones. But my boat, I should just be able to walk straight through this, which is not very good at all. So, the way to fix that, as we did in one of our previous lessons, we created an invisible box by going to Game Object, 3D Object, Cube. Just going to make that invisible, or that visible box first off. It's just going to, first of all, it's just going to cover the rowing boat. Just try and get it to sort of sit as neatly over the box, the boat as you can. And it automatically comes with what's called a box collider, which means that you can't walk through it. And all we need to do is just click Mesh Renderer, and it makes it invisible. Just going to rotate that a tiny bit so it kind of sits over where the boat is. More or less right. So now if I click play, it should just walk up to the boat, but not be able to walk through the boat. There it is. So I can't walk through the boat anymore. I'm trying, it's not going anywhere, but if I press jump, I should be able to jump onto it, like you'd expect. And the signpost I shouldn't be able to walk through that because it was a couple of boxes to start with, so that comes with the same collider. There you go. That's adding images and objects into Unity.